Ah, yes, the facts speak for themselves, especially cherry-picked facts. But the problem with cherry-picked facts is that they're generally easy to spot, and they end up exposing the disingenuous nature of those that promulgate them. This was tweeted out by the Australian Conservatives. For non-Australians, the Australian Conservatives is a new party formed last year by former Liberal Party Senator Cory Bernardi. And just to add further confusion for non-Australians, the Liberal Party is Australia's right-of-centre party. At least in theory, it's supposed to be. The leader of the Liberal Party and current Prime Minister, I believe, would be better suited as the leader of the Labor Party. Now, I'm not a Conservative, but if I were, I would be more than tempted to join Bernardi's party because he really is the only party serving up principled Conservative policies. And that's why it's disappointing to see this kind of disingenuous cheerleading. I mean, if you're going to talk about the performance of the stock market in Trump's first year, why compare it to Obama's last year? Why not make a like-for-like comparison to Obama's first year in office? Is that because Obama's first year was more impressive than Trump's? Or is the claim that Trump caused the stock market to take off? If you look at the chart, you can see Obama's last year in office was no dud. The Dow Jones rose an impressive 25% from January 20th, 2016 to January 19, 2017. Is the claim that the election of Trump on November 8th started the stock market off on its run? Again, the Dow was already up more than 16% to that point from January 20th. And of course, to the naked eye, the performance of the stock market looks even more impressive, but that's skewed by looking at charts on a linear scale rather than logarithmic. The biggest one-day decline in the stock market was October 19th, 1987, when the Dow fell 22.6%. Nothing before or since has even come close. But if you use a linear scale of the stock market, it barely registers as more than a blip. Use a logarithmic scale and you can see the significance of that one-day decline. Now, none of this is to say that the performance of the stock market hasn't been impressive under Trump. It absolutely has. But do you really think you can attribute the stock market's performance in 2016 to Obama and in 2017 to Trump? The problem is not anything Obama or Trump did or didn't do. It's a question of attributing causality to movements in the stock market, especially over short periods of time. It's mostly an exercise in futility. There are so many other potential drivers of stock market performance, it's absurd to think you can chalk it up to a single factor, especially in the short term. Over the long run, I'm talking decades, the stock market has a reasonable correlation with earnings growth and valuation levels. But in the short run, those two metrics are of next to no use. Sure, you can make a claim that as the tax cuts started to seem more of a reality, the stock market got a bump, but it's still impossible to ascribe causality to that single factor. So even a comparison of Obama's first year compared to Trump's is misleading because it assumes that presidents can actually cause the stock market to go up or down over that period of time. In the weeks immediately following Obama's inauguration, the Dow Jones fell more than 15%. Was that caused by Obama, or did it have something to do with the US economy being in the worst recession since the Great Depression? Then in March, the market turned around, and by January 19th, 2010, the Dow Jones was 35% higher than the day Obama took office, a 3.5% better performance than Trump's first year in office. But so what? It doesn't prove anything. So I tweeted at the Australian Conservatives the following: why don't you put up the performance of the stock market during Obama's first year? And of course, this managed to elicit a predictable response from some knuckle dragger that for some reason thinks he has to defend Trump's honour, as though this was some type of competition between Trump and Obama. It isn't. The real problem is ascribing causality, which I noted in subsequent tweets. Anyway, this genius posits another explanation about the now infamous bailout. Did Trump apply anything near a $700 billion bailout? Remember that the bailout was approved in Congress before Obama even took office. Go ahead, show a few pretty graphs and draw basic conclusions. Now again, just to be clear, I don't think comparing the performance of the stock market during the first year of both Obama and Trump's presidencies proves much of anything. But let's have a look at this profound claim of historical ignorance. The $700 billion bailout was passed on October 3rd, 2008. The Dow then proceeded to fall 23% until Obama's inauguration. It was down 37% from October 3rd until the market bottomed in early March 2009. Did the market suddenly recognize the genius of the bailout 5 months after it was announced? Again, trying to attribute causality to single causes is futile. Of course, the economic environment was completely different to today. The unemployment rate in January 2009 was 7.8% when Obama was sworn in. It continued to rise to a peak of 10% in October. Was that Obama's fault? No, he inherited the worst recession since the Great Depression. There was not much he could do to stop a savage cycle of layoffs that was already well underway. Now, of course, Obama escaped his 2 terms without another recession or a nasty bear market. But was that his doing? Was Obama's masterful economic credentials responsible for the current economic expansion? An expansion that could only be described as tepid at best? Well, hardly. Obama didn't really engage in any major fiscal stimulus. Remember, the bailout was passed under Bush. Under Obama's tenure, it's been the Fed pushing the levers of monetary policy via zero interest rates and quantitative easing. I keep making the same point, but I can't stress it enough. The natural ebb and flow of the business cycle is more powerful than any president or his economic policies, especially in the short run. Trump has often pointed to the performance of the stock market as a sign of his success since taking office. I wonder if he'll be so quick to own a substantial stock market decline. I suspect he won't, and he'd be right not to. If the stock markets took a nasty turn sometime in the next couple of years, it will have more to do with the natural flow of the economic and stock market cycles, not because of something Trump did or didn't do. And again, I'm not saying presidents and economic policies have zero effect on economic or stock market outcomes, but we tend to overestimate their real power to create substantial change, especially in the short term. But of course, if the stock market does take a significant turn for the worse under Trump, the Democrats will insist that Trump should own it. And that's one more reason why it would behoove Trump to be a little more circumspect about his own ability to levitate stock prices. And the Australian Conservatives should be a little more rigorous about what narratives they decide to push. I'll see you next time.